Arizona in summer can be extremely brutal. 110 degrees during the day, sunrise is way too early, and ridiculously sized cans of wake-up sauce is required. The monsoon season this year is being delayed, and I'm suffering from an extreme lack of motivation to get out and photograph the normally beautiful Arizona desert. Sometimes landscape photography just doesn't sound fun. Alright guys, well I gotta be a little quiet because there's some fishermen down there, but it has been extremely difficult the past month and a half here in Arizona. It has just been so hot. The monsoon season has been delayed. I don't know how long it's gonna be. Other than the 5 days in Switzerland, it has been just, I haven't been outside at all, and I find it extremely hard to be creative and feel inspired or feel even motivated when the conditions are just, it's hard to get outside. So this morning I forced myself to get outside, to come out here to the Salt River and hopefully get something. I'm waiting for this color to kind of pop here, get some reflection down on the water, some of that color and stuff down in the water, and then yeah, just kind of mess around a little bit here this morning before it gets too hot. I mean, it's already hot, but hopefully get something out of this morning. Like I said, it's hard at times to be creative when it just the conditions aren't great, and so like I said, just forcing myself to come out here and see if I can get something nice. Alright guys, so normally when I'm at this spot, it's a really nice spot for a panorama because the mountains here are just absolutely beautiful. But because there's mostly blue skies to my right, kind of towards the west, what I've done is I've just kind of narrowed down, shot just, you know, towards the sun where the color is, and kind of got this leading line of this stream, some really nice foreground with this cactus. It looks really nice. I kind of narrowed down the scene a little bit to get something a little bit different than what I normally shoot here. And once I get a nice shot, I think I'm going to head down to a little bit lower down on the river, right next to the river bank, and see if I can find maybe some reflections or something once that sun comes up. Also, because there's kayakers here, I've done a long exposure, so like 20-25 seconds to kind of smooth out that water, blur out the motion so you can't see the kayakers at all. And then just f8, ISO 64, I got a 6-stop ND plus the circular polarizer, and yeah, that's my shot. Well, I think I found a cool little spot. I have a little plant growing up out of the water in the foreground. I'm focus stacking and exposure blending because it's really harsh light. That sun's up now on the background there, and the sky is really blown out, so I have that exposure blend. I'm at f10, 1/30th of a second, ISO 64 for the sky, and then I went down 3 stops in the foreground, and so I'm gonna have to, like I said, exposure blend and focus stack for this. But it's a kind of a cool spot. I might switch to a 6 or a 10 stop ND filter to kind of smooth out this water. I'm using a circular polarizer so I can see underneath the water, because there's some rocks and things underneath there that I think add to the photo. The glare, you know, obviously the circular polarizer, you know, cuts the glare, so it adds a little bit more to the photo of being able to see those rocks and a little bit of that texture under the water. Okay guys, so this actually is kind of a complex little shot that I'm doing here. So what I'm doing is I switched to a 6-stop ND filter. So I did a 30-second exposure, I got a circular polarizer on there, and I'm also focus stacking and exposure blending. So The problem with this is when I do this really long exposure, like 30 seconds, what happens is the grass that's in the water there kind of moves a little bit because of the movement of the water. So what I'm going to have to do is probably blend the 30-second exposure for the water. The circular polarizer, obviously, you know, is with that. And then I'm going to have to blend a different shutter speed for just the plants being still. And then I'm going to have to focus stack between that and the background, and then also exposure blend that background because that blue sky is really bright and overexposed. So it's a very complex shot, and it's going to require, like, you know, pretty much 3 or 4 different shots all in one. So I realized pretty quickly, both shooting it and in post-processing, that blending all those photos and shutter speeds together wasn't really going to be beneficial. It wasn't worth the time in Photoshop. So I ended up doing is just shooting with the circular polarizer, focus stacking one for the foreground, one for the background, and then blending one exposure for the sky. Gave me the result that I wanted. Alright guys, well, it's not always going to be the greatest shot ever. I think I came away with something that was pretty good. I think I got a couple of good results here, but like I said, it's been an extreme lack of motivation the last few weeks. Other than, like I said, the 5 days in Switzerland, I haven't been out at all in Arizona in the past month and a half. So it's just having to force myself to get up early and come out this morning. It's already getting hot and sweaty and muggy, and just, it's getting bad. Hopefully the monsoons hit here pretty soon. But actually, at the release of this video, I will be in Iceland for 5 days. So there is some relief coming. And then hopefully when I get back, the monsoons will start here. So like I said, guys, if you know you're in a spot where, you know, during the certain type of season, whether it's summer and it's hot, or it's winter and cold and snowy and rainy, just maybe sometimes force yourself to get out here and just find something, anything, even if it's not that great. I've shot this place so many times, and this is the first time I've had this composition. The water level has risen quite a bit, so it just provides a little bit different conditions here. Instead of taking the big pano this morning, I took that one shot just in that one location, focusing on one part of the mountain with the light and the color. I'm out here. I'm happy that I'm out here instead of, you know, in bed sleeping, which sometimes that can be better. So now I'm gonna head back home, get in the air conditioning, and if you guys want to see how I focus stack, click on this video right here. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.